What's going on, guys? Welcome back to a new video on my channel. Today I am going to be breaking down all the trades that I have taken so far this week. Today's Thursday, so we still have one more day of the week, but I'm already up in profits for the week, and tomorrow I'm lowering my risk, so I'm most likely going to finish a week profitable. Alright, so January so far has been great. All the weeks have been profitable, so January was a success. Hopefully we can keep up the momentum for the rest of the year, but we started off good. Alright, so with that being said, as always, if you want to take these trades with me every single day, make sure to join the Discord. The Signals group is in the description. You will find the link right there, and don't forget to follow me on Instagram. So with that being said, let's get started with the video. So on Monday we took this sell position over here from this supply. So we took a gold sell position. As you guys can see, gold was in a bearish momentum in New York session. We had a break of structure over here, breaking this low from pre-London, and we left a supply over there that was high probability. Yes, you need to zoom in to identify that it does have a gap. So if we put right there, the green candle is the supply. If you zoom in a little bit more, you will see the gap is from the low of that green candle to the high of this red candle. So that small gap right there is still a gap in the market, so that makes it high probability for this supply. And then it also had the 13 EMA right here. It came back and rejected the 13 EMA. It had two candles that went inside the supply, and both of them rejected, didn't close any candles inside, and the second candle gave the entry right here, which we took this position together in the Signals group. And then stop loss goes above that wick, that red wick, and then we aim for first target 1-to-1, and it got hit a couple candles later. So great trade on Monday. I could have left a runner on this one. It went for like a 1 to almost 4, yeah, almost 1-to-4. Great trade, great start of the week. All right, now Tuesday we also took a trade on gold. On Tuesday we lost first and then we won. All right, so this is a setup that we took on Tuesday. It was this demand over here on gold, with also the 13 EMA right there. So at first it came back, it rejected. Let me put the replay mode so we can see it better. It rejected right there. That's a high probability demand. Next candle opened up and pushed up, didn't close inside the zone, no candles closed inside, and we took the break of candle right here. Right there, we took the break of candle, aiming for a 1-to-1. Stop loss goes below this. Let me go back one candle so you can see it better. Stop loss goes below this wick, which is the lowest point inside the demand, and then we aim for a 1-to-1. And unfortunately, when we got in, that same candle hit stop loss. It came all the way back down and hit stop loss. So we lost on that trade, but I saw that the candle didn't close inside. It still rejected. It rejected the 13 EMA. I know that we're looking bullish on gold. We're sitting above the 200, sitting above the 50. All the EMAs are lining up. Break of structure over here. So when I saw that it didn't close, yes, it stopped those out, but it didn't close inside the zone. It still rejected. Still had buying pressure coming off from that demand, and still rejected the 13 right here. I got in at the original entry on the next candle, so this next candle started pushing back up. I got in right here instead of waiting for the next break of candle right here. I got in where I would have gotten in, or where my entry would have been on the previous position that we used loss on. So I got in right there. Now the stop loss goes all the way down here, so now the stop loss is bigger, so the TP has to be bigger. All right, the 1-to-1 is all the way over here. All right, so next candle literally hit TP in one candle. So we ended up making the profits that we lost on this trade, plus a little bit more. Not too much, but we made a little bit more. Why? If you guys are asking, even though I didn't leave any runners, because remember, when I got in over here, my stop loss was right here. So now that I got in right there again, and my stop loss is over here, but my TP is also bigger because we gotta go for a 1-to-1 based on the stop loss, we can see that I will have covered my trade, my loss right here, and all this was my profits for that day. So I ended up making like $200 this day per account. So it's not really that much, but it was enough. I could have also left runners on this trade. Some people on the Signals group left runners on this trade, and it was a banger for the rest of the day. If we take off the replay mode, you guys can see that on Tuesday right here. This could have been, let's say you have gotten out like at 3 p.m. It would have been like a 1-to-7. All right, crazy trade, or even you could have taken more realistically a 1-to-2 or 1-to-3 right here in the same session, New Year session. All right, so it was great. And then gold actually also won from another demand right here, big rejection right there on that demand. You could have gotten in right here, and then one to one would have been hit couple candles later, 2 candles later. So gold on Tuesday was great. We lost at first, but then we covered the loss and made profits. And then even if you didn't take this setup, you could have taken this other setup, which looked beautiful as well. Rejected and still closed above the 13 EMA. So the 13 EMA was really the key on Tuesday. As you guys can see, 13 EMA, 13 EMA, 13 EMA. It was really the key for gold's upside. All right. So yeah, it was great on Tuesday. Now Wednesday was a little bit, it was a bad day. Gold was trash, Nasdaq was trash, SPX was trash. So I ended up giving a chance to US 30 because US 30 it was sitting above the 200, above the 50, above the 13, and it also had a break of structure. So if you can see over here, it had a break of structure breaking these highs. It rejected the 13 and didn't close inside the zone. All right, so when I saw that, that was a good beginning for this setup. It was a high probability setup as well. So I ended up giving it a chance over here. Next candle came back into the zone. It didn't close inside, still rejected. So I ended up giving it a chance. Stop loss below here, and then we aim for that one to one. Got in right there, and then candle started pushing back up. Everything was looking nice so far, and then the next candle literally started coming all the way back down. Now, tip for you guys: if you can see these candles, how they are forming, this candle low, this candle is higher than the previous candle low, this candle low is higher than the previous candle low, and now this red candle low is higher than the previous candle low. So it is forming higher lows on the wicks. It's going like this. All right, so that's what I want to see if we're going to maintain that momentum to the upside. If we start breaking some candle lows, especially breaking below this candle low right here, that one from this candle, which was the first big candle pushing away from the demand with momentum. That candle has a nice body. It closed super bullish with a nice rejection from the zone. So I don't want to see any candles breaking below this low. If it breaks below that low, I'm going to close the trade early. That's what I was saying right there while I was being live in the signals group. And then this next candle pushed all the way back down, and we got out over here. So we was able to get out a half. Look at the stop loss right here. We're aiming for a one to one, right? One to one. If we close the position right here at the break of that candle low, this becomes a 1 to 2. So it means that we was able to cut half of the loss. All right, so that is great. If you can do this, that is great. And then I stay watching the trade for a little bit to see if we made a good decision. US 30 went up, but eventually hit stop loss and never will have hit TP, so we made the right decision by cutting the loss early, guys. All right, so this was Wednesday, small loss. We still have 2 more days left, Thursday and Friday, so not big deal, still up for the week. All right, and then today I called 2 bangers on the signals group. I called Nasdaq liquidity graph, and I also called SPX demand. I ended up taking SPX, but I called both of them at the same time on the signals group, and people could choose whichever one they wanted to take. And specifically, I said that I was taking SPX demand and waiting for the break of the candle. All right, so I'm gonna break down. Let me break down Nasdaq first, and then we break down SPX. So Nasdaq was super simple. We had the New York Stock Exchange open, was this red candle right there, the 930 candle. If you can see, the 200 EMA is flat. So when the 200 EMA is flat, I don't like to trade supply and demand too much. I like to trade supply and demand on a trending market. When the 200 DMA is flat, I like to take liquidity graphs. All right, and in this case, we had a support level right here on Nasdaq and support level right there on Nasdaq. You can see it clearly right there. And then 935 candle came all the way back down here, stopping the traders that enter longs here and here. So that was a liquidity graph, and ended up closing above all the EMAs. So it closed above the 13, the 50, and the 200. So I called this trade on the break of the candle. People could have gotten it right there. That was the break of the candle right there. Next candle came back down, never close to stop loss. It just rejected all the EMAs, and then the next candle just literally hit TP on one candle. All right, so great trade right here on Nasdaq. Plus we also had a break of structure. If you can see this week right here, it broke it this week right here. So you had a minor break of structure, and you're going on the liquidity graph following a minor break of structure, and also liquidity graph with your entry being above all the EMAs. All right, very important to see that. All right, now SPX, which is the trade that I took, let's go back a little bit. And let me go back a little bit more because I know people freak out and say that this doesn't have a gap. All right, so SPX, we're sitting above all the EMAs, right? You guys can see it, 13, 50, and then 200. All right, we're having a break of structure. So SPX with this candle, they broke above this high right here. So that is a break of structure right there on SPX, and it also closed above the previous high. So that is a confirmed break of structure. All right, because the wicks, we identify them as break of structure, but if we can close the candle above it as well, that's also more confluence for the break of structure to be good. All right, and then we left this demand over here. This is the last red candle before a bullish push. Does it have a gap? Yes, it does have a gap, guys. All right, from the closure of this red green candle to the wick of that red candle. This right here is a gap in the market that needs to get filled. That gets filled with the next candle. Yeah, it got filled with the next candle. What do you want me to do about it? Sometimes they create the gap, they push up, and then 5 candles later is when they come back down and fill up the gap, all right? But sometimes they create the gap and they fill it up immediately on the next candle. It doesn't mean that this didn't have a gap. It did have a gap at a certain moment, all right? Like when the demand was created, it had a gap, but the next candle literally filled it up, tapped the zone, didn't close inside. This trade was also sent at the same time that we sent Nasdaq, and I said that I was going to take SPX, waiting for the break of candle. Stop loss goes below the wick right there. If you guys can see, no closures inside the zones. I like that. We're sitting above all the EMAs with a break of structure. I like that. And then we are going to go for a 1-to-1. I was a little bit iffy about this trade, I ain't gonna lie, because we needed to break above this high to hit TP. So we needed to create a new high on SPX to hit the take profit. But this candle literally came into the market, a lot of volume. It came all the way back down, tapped the zone once again, rejected, started coming back up. We got back in, we got in on the trade, and then it literally hit TP on one candle. I ended up closing some contracts over here, and then I closed the rest of the contracts at 1 to 1.5 right here on the next candle when it spiked up. I said on the Discord, the messages are there. Right here I ended up closing the rest because this right here from the 1-to-1 to the 1 to 1.5 is what covered my US 30 loss. The small loss that we took on Wednesday, that's what covered the loss. And then I made the profits with the 1-to-1 that I got on this trade. All right, so perfect trade. Literally one candle hit TP, it was crazy, and then we got out and immediately it reversed for the rest of the day. So great trade, great projection, and great action that we took on this trade by leaving a small runner but not a big runner, because with this volume it was aiming for more upside, but look at this, it actually reversed. So we did good by closing at 1 to 1.5. So with that being said, guys, this is it. Tomorrow we still have one more day to trade. I'm going to be lower my risk and finishing the week strong, hopefully. But with that being said, I hope you guys was able to learn something from this video. As always, if you want to take these trades with me, make sure you join the Discord. The link is in the description for the Signals group, and follow me on Instagram. Subscribe, hit the like button, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Peace.